All right, y'all, welcome to Higa's Playbook, the show that talks about sports, dating, and all things life as a Seattle girl living in the Bay. All right, we're going to talk again about football, but before we get into the games, the divisional rounds, we have a special guest. We have this man who has played over 10 years in the league. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 2011 draft. 99th pick to the Seattle Seahawks. He is a Pro Bowler. He is a Super Bowl champion. And he also has a podcast called KJ All Day, and he is also on the Seattle Sports Radio show. And with that, I give you KJ Wright.
What's happening?
Yay! Okay, so KJ, you are my very, very first guest. As you can see in my background, this is not my normal background because my smoke detector is beeping and it beeps every 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds. So it's really loud. And so I didn't get my maintenance request.
Get up there and change the battery?
I tried to take it out, but then it still beeps. I don't know how that happens. Okay, so KJ, thank you for joining us. You're our very first guest. I'm really excited because, I don't know, we've been talking a lot about Seahawks, and I mean, you're a former Seahawks, and you retired as a Seahawk, and so it's really exciting to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
But let's get into it.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, we're talking about the Texans and the Ravens, 10-34. I was thinking that it was the Ravens look good. Right. The first half was close. I don't know. CJ Stroud I don't know. It's like rookie versus vet. Is Lamar Jackson considered a vet? How many years is?
This is probably year 7 for Lamar. He's going to get his second MVP. So he's been around the block a few times.
But he has not won a Super Bowl. Okay. So he went off. He's just too good. I feel like he's just an athlete. He's fast. He sees the field really well. And it's hard to stop him.
Alex, I played in the NFL for 11 years. Yeah. Without question, hands down, Lamar Jackson is the most dynamic football player I've ever played in my life. You talk about quick, fast, his football IQ. He's a competitor. He plays hard. He loves the game. He is everything you want in a quarterback. And he's made football look easy this year. They're literally blowing teams out. His numbers aren't super crazy. He doesn't have all these crazy stats, but it's just making it look really, really simple. They're running the ball. He's getting the ball out to his guys. And their defensive coordinator is about to be a head coach after this football season. So
it's crazy because his throwing numbers were 16 for 22, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're like, okay, that's cool. But then you go to his rushing yards. He had 11 carries for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, what other quarterback is doing that right now?
No other quarterback can do that. Maybe Josh Allen.
I was going to say Josh Allen is maybe a close second, maybe not even a close second, but he definitely rushes the ball a lot. But yeah, Lamar Jackson is super well-rounded. He's just an athlete.
Yeah, and so you talk about he hasn't won a Super Bowl. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. And he hasn't been to a Super Bowl. And he has another tough opponent to get to Vegas in February. Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. He has some he has some people that he has to stop.
Oh my gosh.
So
we'll get to the Chiefs. Yeah.
We'll get
to the Chiefs in just a second. All right. So yeah, Ravens look good. I don't know. The first half was a little rocky, but then I think second half they
show who they are. They show who they are.
Yeah. Okay. Next game. Wait, was that your prediction for the win though? You thought the Ravens were going to win?
I think the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh. Okay. I don't know. I kind of wanted the Texans to win just because it's like a rookie and underdog, but I think that kind of just shows
I'll say this about the Texans and CJ Stroud. They're going to eventually get there. I watched CJ Stroud in that game, and it looked like he was going 1,000,000 miles per hour for him. So this is a good test for him to show this is what I need to get better at in the offseason. This is what I need to improve when it comes to film study. If I want to get to the AFC Championship, get to the Super Bowl, I got to be able to beat defenses like this. And so they're going to eventually get back. D'Amico Ryans, he's his first year coaching in the NFL, so I'm excited for this team.
Yeah, that's wild. They got young coaching staff and young players. That's crazy. The fact that he made it that far his rookie season, insane. All right, Packers versus Niners, 21-24. Let me tell you though, I talk about this all the time, being a Seahawks fan living in the Bay. I was in Vegas this weekend, same thing. Niners fans everywhere. Literally took a selfie. They roll deep, but I literally took a selfie with my friends on the street. I looked at the picture and I was like, ew, a Niners fan. They were literally in the background of the picture with their hands up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They're all over the place. Even when they come to Seattle, they see that red. They be screaming. They be deep. I'm like, a very passionate fan base. A very, very passionate fan base.
Very passionate. But I think, am I frozen? Are you good? Okay, we're good. I was talking about this with one of my coworkers. He's a hardcore Niners fan. They all are. So I was thinking about them because I know that they were stressed out the entire game because they've been blowing teams out. And this was, I think, the first game that it's been super, super close the entire game until literally the last minute of the game. It was super close the entire game. So, I think Brock Purdy, I don't know. It's like, is it good that they got that out of the way now? Because when they play the Lions next week, I don't know. It was challenging.
Yeah, and you got to look at it. Teams are different coming off of a bye week, right? They had a week off. Some of these guys had to pass 2 weeks off. Christian McCaffrey didn't play, and last week, obviously, because he had a bye. He didn't play week 18 of the regular season. And so a lot of these guys had a lot of rest. Yeah. Your rhythm gets thrown off. The chemistry may get a little shaky until you get it figured out. And they got it figured out late in the ball game. But if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, right, we don't have Deebo Samuel. Brock Purdy struggled a little bit. You really got to make life simple for him if you're Kyle Shanahan. Run the ball with CMC, dynamic runs, and play action Brock Purdy. If you do straight drop back, 3-step, 5-step, it won't be pretty for this offense. So have some play action, have some run game, and to really maximize what Brock Purdy does well.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't look the same. I don't know if they were just, I was thinking about the bye weeks too, and I think my coworker was talking about that too. He's like, I don't like how they had that week off, and you can just totally tell that it was different. But I think, I don't know. I didn't know who, I think whoever won that game, I wouldn't have been happy about it. So I didn't feel any type of way after they won. I was just kind of like, oh.
And the benefit, obviously, you get that week off, but you're at home. You can't really explain the benefits of being at home.
No motion in the room and the light went off.
Oh Lord, okay.
Right.
And so that really helped out the San Francisco 49ers on their home turf with that crowd, and they found a way to get it done.
Yeah, and that was a crazy win. So they're playing Sunday against the Lions. So Bucks versus Lions, 23-31. This was a close game the entire time. Like, I low-key was rooting for Baker Mayfield. I think that his season has been great. His attitude is amazing. I think he's just, I don't know. I think this has been a long time coming for him. And I think that it was like just a great opportunity. But the Lions obviously ended up pulling it out at the very end. With the interception to seal the game. And there was a couple missed field goals, right, by the Bucks. And so, I don't know. I was like rooting for Baker Mayfield, but I think the difference between there was like the 2 interceptions that he had. Mike Evans is a freaking beast. He's a monster on the field. I love him. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what the Bucks have for next season with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback.
And it's crazy you said that, because I saw his growth and maturity as when it comes to being in the media, when it comes to making good decisions on the football field. Like, I was really, really happy for Baker Mayfield and what he did on a prove-it deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so I think they're going to keep him long-term, give him another 3-year contract. Hopefully Mike Evans comes back, because he's one of my favorite players of this generation. Yes, he's one of my favorite players of this generation. Yeah, first. I think he's first ballot Hall of Famer. He should, according to his numbers, and a Super Bowl. And so, what the Bucks did, they took a big step forward with their franchise, but the Detroit Lions, they're too much. They're too much with Dan Campbell, with Ben Johnson, who's up for head coaching job, and this offense, that defense, is really really good. And so Bucks, not the Bucks, the Lions, Niners. This could be an exciting matchup.
That's going to be an exciting matchup. The last game of the divisional rounds was the Chiefs and the Bills.
Jeez.
I know. I was really rooting for the Bills.
Were you? Why?
I don't know. I just think don't want like Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce to do it again. But I don't know. It was a really good game. But I think the Bills kickers are cursed.
Wide right.
I think this happens, right? This is a common thing, right? But you know what I also heard? I heard that, okay, one, why isn't there a roof at the Buffalo Bills stadium? Two, why don't they heat their field? And three, I heard that they cut off the hot water to the Chiefs locker room. So I think that's their karma. Because why are you doing that?
I'm convinced.
And why are the fans throwing snowballs at people? Like, that's just too much.
Yes, it's karma, guys. Just when the team comes into your territory, don't cut off the hot water. Let them take a nice hot shower after a 20-degree game. Don't be throwing snowballs at them like they did with Patty Mahomes. And maybe good things will happen to you.
Exactly.
But with Josh Allen, Alex, he has to take some responsibility for this loss as well. He has to take some responsibility. He's so talented. He's made so many spectacular plays. But the little things is what's holding him back. Right. The little things, like Stephon Diggs was wide open. Let him catch it for 5 yards and take it for 30 yards versus trying to force a touchdown that's really, really hard to execute.
Right. I know there was a lot of things going on, but those are just some of the things that I found out later. I was like, why don't they have a roof over that? Like, it snows like 10 feet every year.
Yeah. So let me ask you. Are you a fan of when they keep showing Taylor Swift? Because I like it.
Hot take. No.
I think it's awesome.
You think it's awesome? Okay, when they first started dating, or when it first came out in the media, right? Like, they showed her so much and they talked about it so much that I muted my TV.
No, you didn't.
I did. I muted it because I was like, okay, I get this is exciting, whatever, America's dream couple. But again, I'm not like a huge Swiftie. Like, I don't listen to her music. I don't really see what the hype is about, honestly. Like, yikes. Oh God, don't cancel me, Swifties. But it's just not for me, right? You know, it's like not everybody loves Beyonce, which I don't know why, but you know, it's just not for me. And so, you know, when you're trying to watch a football game, like the last thing I want to hear is the announcers talk about Taylor Swift. I mean, they show her every time, which is like cute, whatever. She's really happy and her outfits are cute, but I mean,
they're a real couple. This is real.
Which is like interesting because if you look at like his track record of the kinds of girls that he's dated in the past, it doesn't really match up, but maybe he's like, oh, well, maybe I need to go in a different direction since those didn't work out for me.
Try something different.
Yeah. I mean, I wish them the best.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm enjoying it.
Interesting. Okay. I would love to hear other guys' opinions about that because...
You know how you go around asking at the games when you did, where were we in Dallas?
Mm-hmm. No, we were in LA.
You should go do a survey. Are you going this weekend to the game?
I don't think I'm going to the game, but I'm going to do stuff for, have you ever had Bachan's teriyaki sauce? Japanese barbecue sauce? Oh, okay. We'll get you some. But yeah, I think I'll be down there at the tailgate for that and I'll ask people. That's a good question, actually. Okay, so divisional championships, your picks. Who you got?
I have the Detroit Lions coming out of the NFC.
You do?
100%. It's just there's nothing quite like the momentum they have, the chemistry, the confidence,
Yeah.
their head coach. They have their health. They have everything working in their favor right now.
I do like their head coach.
Yes, I'm a big fan of him as well. And so I have them coming out there with a nail biter, getting past the San Francisco 49ers. And now the AFC, I got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson and what he's doing. It may be, I got him winning by like 10 points. I got him winning by like 10 plus points. It's in Baltimore. That fan base is rocking. Defense is dominant.
Right.
The defense leads the NFL in like the top 4 categories, like points scored, takeaways, and sacks. The defense is number 1 in all 3 of those categories.
Right.
And so facing an offense like this, defense wins championships.
Right. Okay. I agree with that. I think, yeah. And then you think the Ravens are going to take the Super Bowl?
Oh, I didn't say that. I thought you said that
would be earlier. No.
Look, holler at me when we get closer to that moment. But right now, if I had to pick, it's the Detroit Lions.
To win the Super Bowl?
Hey, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist on your show. I don't want to be that guy.
No, but I like it. Let's go.
But Alex, do you know where they have the 2024 NFL draft at this year?
In Detroit?
Detroit, Michigan. You know where they had it last year and who won the Super Bowl last year?
Kansas City.
I'm just saying. Call me a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, I love it. Okay, cool.
If I had to put my bottom dollar on, I'm picking the Lions.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, I think after last week and watching the Niners play, I was like, oh, shit. I think, yeah, Lions definitely, because they're ready. And after that game, they're like, oh, we're ready to go to San Francisco. Or they said San Fran, but I'm like Santa Clara. But, yeah. Okay. Ravens. I think it's going to be Ravens-Lions, too. Don't tell my neighbors that because they will come after me. Or don't tell my coworkers either. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to switch gears just a little bit. We're going to talk just briefly about what happened 2 weeks ago in Seattle with the Seahawks and Pete Carroll, and just your thoughts about like the timing of his exit and how you feel about if that was the correct decision for the organization. I think, I don't know, how was your experience working with him, first of all? I just want to talk about that because Pete just seems like the coach that is so rare, that actually cares about his family, cares about his players, cares about his organization, but also just like is so passionate about the sport, and his energy is just unmatched.
His energy is so contagious, and I just love him. I love him as a coach. I love him as a human being. He drafted me. He trusted me with his organization for a decade. And just, he got it so much off the field. Like everyone looks at the football stuff, the chewing bubblegum, the big shoes, the personality, but no one saw the behind the scenes Coach Carroll, who was in those tight production rooms during hard football seasons or when stuff was going on in the real world. Right. And so just for him to be in this organization for 14 years, he has a whole lot to be proud of. Like he brought this city their first championship, took us to another one. He's all decades coach. Like he created the Legion of Boom. Like the list goes on what he did. And so I think I speak for all my teammates when I said job well done. And it sucks that he had to leave. But we all know that everyone's time in the NFL is rented. This is a rented business. We rent it, we make our impact, and then we go on with our lives. And so job well done, Coach.
Yeah, that's amazing. He just seems like a solid person, like just somebody you would want to, like, you'll probably learn so much from him. So much. And just the way that he led the team, you can just tell that you guys trusted him and the whole organization trusted him. And it's just so rare, like finding coaches that are like that. Cause I've had plenty of terrible coaches in my life, and it just makes a difference as your experience throughout that entire time.
And think about it, Alex. Like he had to lead not only the players, he had to lead the coaches. He had to create a culture at the VMAC, right? Like wherever your coach looks like is a representation of everyone else in that building. And he did that at a very high level. It's not like he was winning 5, 6, 7 games. Right. He was winning 10, 11 plus games each and every football season. Right. That's consistency. Right. That's dominance. And so hands down, there's so much that I learned from him during my tenure there. that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life.
I love that. Do you think it was like the right decision for the organization right now to kind of, I mean, not like start super fresh, but then in a sense, like kind of like switch things up a little bit because maybe things were not working anymore?
Yeah, I think what the organization saw, they saw back-to-back 9-8 seasons, right? When Russell left, it was like, okay, this is new. This is fresh. This is new. Then Geno came at quarterback. He did his thing. Then went to the playoffs. Okay, let's do our thing again and go back to the playoffs. And to not make it this past year, to have the distractions in the locker room, it was just too many things was just building up. So I think they said now is the time for us to just start fresh. Nothing's ever personal. We just want to start fresh as an organization, get something new, a new personality, a new voice, and go forward with the 2024 season.
So what do you think was missing in those last couple seasons?
Honestly?
Yeah, honestly.
Me. It was me.
Okay, well, that's really funny because one of my questions is, I know, because I hear like we would talk about like, you know, I would hear you and G's podcast and you like, you know, when you played, all of you held each other accountable for certain actions on the field, off the field, and XYZ. And so when you say that they're missing you, are you talking about you as a player form or talking about you as a coach?
Oh, stop it.
Well, I'm just asking because you said they're missing you. So I'm trying to figure out like where your head is at. And I mean, honestly, that was like one of my questions for you. And you led into that perfectly.
Well, I obviously on the football field did my thing, but you know, left, got old, go to the Raiders, young guys come in. But you cannot put a price tag on leadership, on people guiding other men. It's not an easy thing to do.
No,
it's not an easy thing to do, to have that presence in the locker room to just help navigate things.
Right.
And I truly felt if Bobby wasn't on the team this year, they would have won six games this year. They won 6 games.
Yeah.
But you asked about coaching. I promise you, every time like game day happens, every time I turn on the TV, like each and every Sunday, something in my spirit is like, KJ, why aren't you out there helping win football games? Like, what are you waiting on? What are you doing? What's holding you back? And I got the heart for it. I got the football knowledge for it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, because you have your old teammate Shed out there with the DBs.
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah, D Shed's out there. I mean, I feel like, knowing you personally and like on the football field, I feel like you would be a great coach. And I feel like they need that. And everything that you've been saying on your podcast is what they need to hear and maybe what has been missing. But
and honestly, Alex, what I did on my podcast, I was essentially coaching what needs to be done. And you see, when you push back and you address things, what happens is you may get a little pushback. You may get a little pushback from your players, and you may get some guys to be like, yeah, coach, you're right. And so I experienced both of those even on my podcast.
I was going to ask, like, I wonder, like, how many of those guys really watched it, and then how many were, like, either A, defensive, or, like, oh, shit, like, maybe, yeah, we need to do this, and, like, we're coachable.
It's more so of the defense. they push back, and they only hear the bad stuff. They only hear the critiques.
Right.
I did a lot of praising and a lot of ass kissing. It didn't hear anything about that. And so you got to understand, when you do push back on guys and say you did this wrong, as naturally as humans, we're defensive and like, oh no, I didn't do that. But you got to understand how to navigate through telling someone something, delivering the information.
Right.
Take what you want to take with this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I don't know, like, I feel like, even in my industry, right, like, I teach classes and I get feedback from certain people. Not everybody's going to like me, but if I, like, look at that feedback and kind of just read it and just take a little bit from that, like, I'm not going to please them completely, but I can, like, maybe have them like my class a little bit better. I don't know. You don't need to take everything, but at least like listen and be like, oh, okay. Just be aware of it, right?
Yep. Listen, digest it, receive it, but to instantly put up a wall, you know, I'm not a fan of people doing that when they get coached or when they get critiqued. Like really listen to what they're delivering.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. That was my question because I feel like you would be a great coach, but I love that. And hopefully we can see you on the sidelines sometime soon.
I know. I had a conversation with my wife the other day and she keeps saying, she's like, what are you waiting on? What's holding you back? Who's holding you back?
Yeah.
She was like, I understand the hours that you put in.
Yeah.
I can take care of my kids. So that's the biggest thing that's bothering me is I feel like my kids may feel like daddy wasn't there enough. Wifey may feel like, oh, he's living his best life while I'm here, you know, taking care of the house and the kids. And so it's a sense of guilt. I don't know if I should feel this. It's a sense of guilt that's holding me back.
Right. But I feel like that's natural because you're just naturally like a good person too. And you are considerate and thoughtful of everything else around you.
Yeah.
But if your wife is saying that, and I know your wife.
You know my wife? I know my wife too. But she said it. And so if you have someone that's in your corner to give you the green light, you know, that's a big, big plus to decide, okay, what's really next for my life.
Okay, last question. What kind of coach do you think the Seahawks need right now as far as like, I don't know, was Pete Carroll more of like an offensive guy or like defensive guy? He was all defense. Okay, clearly, and that makes sense with like Legion of Boom and all of that. So do you think that the Seahawks need to go that route again? Or what do you think they need right now?
It doesn't matter. Offensive-minded coach, defensive-minded coach. It really doesn't matter. Bring me someone in that is a phenomenal leader, that knows what their philosophy is, know who they are as a human being, and just, whether you're a defensive coach, hire a really fire offensive coordinator and vice versa. Like, a head coach needs his soldiers. A head coach needs those guys underneath them to be some badasses as well.
Right.
And so I just want them to bring in someone that understands who they are and not try to duplicate or to try to come close to what Coach Carroll was. That's impossible to do.
That's really important. That's funny that you say that because today at work, my friend did like a motivation or like a Monday, like, I forget what he called it. But one of them was come as who you are and not try to be other people and like show up as you are and not as other people, right? And that's just so true with everything in life. But like coaching wise too, it's like you need to understand who you are as a coach, right? So that you can deliver that to your team and have them like fully trust. Because we know when people are fraudulent, like we can feel that. We can sense that when people are trying to be fake or trying to be somebody that they're not. But
yeah, and players, we see straight through it. We see like, bro, what are you talking about? Your philosophy changes every other week. You coach me differently. Like, be who you are 7 days a week. I can live with that.
Right. Yeah. Any kind of leader in any kind of business, right? Like their employees can see it. We can see right through you. Yep. And it's hard to trust. But when you can trust your coach, then, I mean, ultimately your business or whatever may be a little bit more successful.
Yep. And so my top three guys is Ben Johnson. Oh yeah, Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions. Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Defensive coordinator, Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, Dallas Cowboys. Well, I like Jim Harbaugh too, so let's throw in Jim Harbaugh as well. So those are my top four guys.
What do you think happened though to the Cowboys in this last part of the season? Because that was
they should have brought Mike McCarthy back. Really good choice. Yeah, but Dak threw a bunch of interceptions in the wild card game.
Yeah.
The defense, people look at the defense getting their ass kicked against the Packers. They had one linebacker healthy. They had a bunch of DBs playing linebacker. That team was really the injury report. It was really banged up on the tail end of the season.
But that was but the guy that you chose was the defensive coordinator.
I know. Dak threw two pick sixes. That's 14 points. Then I look at their linebackers. I want to watch the tape. They had a rookie linebacker, and the rest were DBs. So imagine or Earl Thomas. Imagine an Earl Thomas playing my position.
Yeah.
That's what they had out there. They just ran the ball up and down the football field. And
Right. Okay. Okay. So those are your picks.
those are my picks. Who you like? Who you want to come in?
I don't know their names. But if you say the guy from the Ravens, yes. Or wait, what was the guy from the Lions?
Ben Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those teams are looking so good, and why not? Let's bring him to Seattle. Do you think their culture and would mesh well with the Seattle atmosphere?
It's a winning culture. We'll take it. We will take it. And think about it. Before Coach Carroll came, Mike Holmgren was the complete opposite of Coach Carroll.
That's really true.
Nothing close to Mike Holmgren. Was a strict, militant, cuss you out, no nonsense type of coach. And then here comes this guy from coach from LA? Coach from the Bay Area. No, coach from the Bay. I think coach from the Bay.
But he was at USC right before the Seahawks, right? Yeah. So he's in LA. Yeah.
Like vibrant, energetic, positive guy. Right. So the fans will adjust.
That's true. Okay. I didn't think about that. That's very true. I think when you've just been around something for so long, you're like, okay, change is hard and change is scary, but I think it's needed for sure in Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So coming soon.
All right. Well, KJ, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining Higa's Playbook.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Okay. We'll see you later. Thanks for everybody joining with us today. My name is Alex, and that's KJ. Catch y'all later.
See y'all next time.